EuroPhilantopics invites us all to see complex issues such as international migration, social cohesion, through the filter of trust. It is important because the state nowadays is not fulfilling its mission. And in order to have multiple players being together and working together, you need to have trust.
If you operated on a basis of trust in terms of how you use that as a founding basis for your engagement with heads of state, about your borders, how you deal with your neighbour, how you deal with providing services, how politicians relate to their mandate, we might actually lead to better results and also improve the way in which people and communities will relate to institutions and perhaps restore faith and belief in democracy.
Our main problem in today's world is that we generally don't trust those who decide, be it on European level, national level, maybe also regional level. But on the other hand, everybody sees that the participation in decision making from the side of, so to say, normal citizens is also very low. So it's a mixture of low readiness, if I can be so critical, low readiness to take the responsibility on your shoulders, on yourself, and high level of mistrust.
We have an unhelpful way of thinking about trust in Europe, in that we think of it in abstraction from the question of whether the other party is trustworthy, which we would never do in our ordinary lives. In our ordinary lives, we try to give trust to the people and the institutions we think are trustworthy. So I'm trying to get more focus on the question of how do we tell who's trustworthy for which purposes?
While building community centers in Greece, we have used a bottom-up approach to communicate and to engage local communities, thus building trust. Once this model is in place, it's in effect, then it's very easy to use this local trust and experience to engage other issues like the migration refugee crisis. If you have operators in place and if you have a long relationship with the community and you have built this trust, it's much easier to educate people or to provide answers to difficult questions. For example, are migrants here to take our jobs? By doing programs, and if you have already built this trust with the local community, you alleviate the effects of these issues and you combat really xenophobia and racism.
Europe does need foreign workers, that it needs younger people coming into the countries, that it needs to, in order to maintain its economy and its wealth, it needs these people to come into Europe. So if philanthropy could work in making that fostering the public discourse about it with facts and figures is one thing, and another is of course helping in many different ways for to make the integration easier.
We have the entrepreneurs, the social entrepreneurs on the demand side. We have increasing interest from investors on the supply side. What we need are the intermediaries who can help connect the supply and the demand side, the investors and the investees. We also need the right framework conditions within countries, and that's where the role of government comes in. We need to address these social issues, bringing the three sectors together. It's not something the public sector can do alone, it's not something the private sector can do alone, and certainly it's not something that civil society can do alone. So by bringing the three together and finding new ways of addressing these issues and financing these issues, hopefully we can really make some progress.